Petaluma City Schools Board of Education, if you would all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. A little housekeeping for any of you that have cell phones. If you please remember to turn the vibrator from off, please. We've got a lot on the agenda, so we're going to move through as quick as we can. Let's go right to adoption and approval of the agenda. I understand that there's one item that we may want to consider.
Yeah, if we could, Mr. President, I would like to pull off the consent agenda. I would like to put the memorandum of understanding that was under, bear with me, business services, and I believe it was number 4.
Okay.
It's the ratification of the MOU memorandum of understanding for the transportation with the Coast Guard Training Center.
Very good. Do you want to make a motion in that regard?
Yes, I would move that we put that as a discussion item.
Okay, so we'll approve the agenda subject to moving that to a discussion. You want it off or you want a discussion?
We'll discuss it. What do you think, Steve? Put it on and just discuss it?
We can discuss it, that'll be fine.
Okay, so yeah, I would move it for some.
Okay, second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So we will play it with that change. Let's move on to item F. Approval of the minutes for the 14th and the 20th. I believe everyone has the ability to vote on them if everybody was here. So I'll take that.
Second.
Do you have any discussion, changes, questions, concerns about the minutes?
There was one vote that did you that didn't look right on the October 14th. Up here.
October 14th?
Yeah. It was, I think, on like one of the purchases, it was at a vote. No, a no vote instead of a yes or an abstain. And I thought, I don't remember you not voting.
Was it Troy or-
It was Troy.
Purchase orders, list of expenditures, that's usually those two, right?
Yeah.
Purchase orders, okay, so looks like Mike abstained. Yeah, you're right, that should be a yes, I did not vote, I voted yes, purchase orders.
Okay, very good.
So
So
it's,
with that change to,
yes, 4-0.
you're right,
Thank you, I didn't see that.
Okay.
I didn't either.
Okay,
It was
4-0-1,
one of, yeah.
Mike abstained.
Right.
All right, very good. Any other changes? Okay, so as changed, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes shall go that way. Okay, let's move on to Students of the Month. So a couple of ground rules real quick on Students of the Month. We're going to have the student representatives from the various schools come up. You guys are going to come up here. You're going to have your student come up and stand very awkwardly in front of the camera. We'll film you for the whole time. Parents, if you would like, you're more than welcome to slide around over to that side of the room, over kind of by the camera, if you'd like to take a picture of your camera. All right? And we will start out with Kenilworth Junior High. So if I can have the student rep for Kenilworth Junior High. Who's going to start with? Okay. There you go.
Hi, my name is Sue Jacob, and I will be saying the Students of the Month for Kenilworth Junior High. Kenilworth Junior High School is proud to introduce the October Student of the Month, Jacob Sullivan.
Sorry you're first, Jacob, but congratulations. You're going to go right there. It's very awkward. Okay.
Jacob has been chosen Student of the Month by his team of teachers because he is one of Kenilworth's most outstanding, personable, and motivated students. Jacob's teachers consider it a true pleasure to have him as a member of their class. Jacob's science teacher, Mr. Schmidt, was eager to add, Jacob is a great student. He is intelligent, extremely personable, and he is a team player. Jacob excels in all of his classes at Kenilworth, maintaining a 3.83 grade point average. While Jacob enjoys all of his classes at Kenilworth, he really enjoys science and doing the in-class experiments. Jacob is also an active participant in his digital media class and is currently working on a Don't Text and Drive public service video. Outside of school, Jacob plays baseball and considers his team of underdogs' upset victory over Petaluma National's first-place team one of his most memorable sports moments. When Jacob finishes high school at Casa Grande, he would like to go to a university somewhere in California and pursue a degree in computer science. Jacob's mom, Jay, was very excited over his selection as Student of the Month. Jacob has a very inquiring mind. He loves to learn and read. He has a very quick wit and he loves a good debate. I believe these are qualities that have helped Jacob to become such a good student. We are very proud of him. Congratulations, Jacob.
Just I want to take this time as well to acknowledge that Jacob's success is also a product of the people in his support network. So Jacob, if you have friends, family, neighbors, other students here, would you please rise? Congratulations.
Our second Student of the Month for Petaluma Junior High is Emily Irving.
So the drill, right?
Emily has been chosen Student of the Month by her team of teachers because she is one of Kenilworth's most outstanding students and citizens. Hardworking, smart, kind, team player are just a few of the superlatives Emily's teachers, family, and friends use to describe her. As Emily's teacher, Mr. Schmidt, enthusiastically added, Emily is a great student, exceptional scholastically. Emily strives and achieves excellence in all that she does. Outside of school, Emily has a variety of diverse interests. Emily enjoys dancing, swimming, reading, and writing short stories and poems. Already an accomplished writer, Emily won a Young Writers Award while a student at Old Adobe School. In the future, Emily would like to attend Sonoma State University. At Sonoma State, Emily would like to study English and continue to blossom as a writer. Emily's mom, Denise, was very pleased that she was chosen as Student of the Month. She describes Emily as hardworking, a good friend with good values. As Emily's mom pointed out, Emily is the kind of quiet, unassuming, good student who often blends in at school. It is really nice for her to be recognized. Those of us at Kenilworth could not agree more. Congratulations, Emily.
And those with Emily tonight? Please. All right, how about Petaluma Junior High?
My name is Marley Schrock, and I'll be representing the Petaluma Junior High School Student of the Month. Our first October Student of the Month at Petaluma Junior High School is Colton Ronshausen. A bright and well-rounded student, Colton Ronshausen has been chosen as the October Student of the Month at Petaluma Junior High School. Maintaining a 4.0 grade point average in 7th and 8th grade, Colton has been on the honor roll each semester and earned the Principal's Gold Renaissance Award. Colton is admired by his teachers for his work ethic and helpfulness in the classroom. Teachers state that he's dependable, attentive, and hardworking. His participation in class and his sense of humor are qualities that his teachers perceive and greatly appreciate in Colton. They note that Colton is respectful, responsible, and reliable. Assets that he will serve Colton well in both his personal and academic future endeavors. Last year as a 7th grader, Colton earned both the Silver and Gold Renaissance Awards and membership on the PJHS Honor Roll for maintaining a high GPA. Colton is off to a great start again this year academically. He continues to excel in his classes and is again maintaining a 4.0 GPA and enjoys participating in a Spanish 1B class. When Colton is not focusing on his studies, he enjoys spending time outdoors playing soccer, baseball, and basketball. In addition to excelling in these team sports, Colton is participating in cross-country and track this year and doing very well in both. Colton is also involved in his church community and has enjoyed attending his religious education classes and is proud of his recent confirmation. Colton is an avid reader and cares about doing well in all areas of his life. He views bullying, cyberbullying, and peer pressure as an important issue he and his peers face. A future goal that Colton has is to become more fluent in Spanish and to raise awareness for type 1 diabetes. Colton's parents state Colton is an amazing teen. He pushes himself to succeed in everything he does. He always does his best. He is a good friend and is concerned about how others are doing. We are very proud of Colton. Congratulations, Colton. Our second October student of the month at Petaluma Junior High School is Hannah Herman. An exceptional student and a cheerful and genuine young lady, Hannah Herman has been chosen as the October student of the month at Petaluma Junior High School. Hannah was on the honor roll for her entire 7th grade year and earned the Principal's Renaissance and Gold Awards. Currently earning a 4.0 GPA average while taking accelerated classes, Hannah is maintaining this trend again this year and working very hard. Hannah continues to excel in her classes in all areas and enjoys participating in her French 1B class. Hannah's teacher states that she's an excellent student. Her positive attitude emanates to others, and she is a great role model for her peers. She is focused, dependable, and respectful, and loves to learn. She is well-liked and is willing to help out when needed. Teachers love having Hannah in their classes, stating she is responsible, attentive, and motivated to always do her best. Her peers look up to her, and she is liked and respected by all. A well-rounded person, Hannah keeps herself busy outside of school as well. When Hannah is not focusing on her studies, she enjoys spending time outdoors, playing soccer for Petaluma United Soccer Club. In addition to excelling in this team sport, Hannah is participating in track this year and doing very well. Hannah also enjoys reading and spending time with her friends and has volunteered to help raise money for a local girls' charity called Girls on the Run. When asked about some of the important issues facing her and her peers, she shared her concern about peer pressure and the need to fit in, that anyone will do anything to fit in. Hannah also views bullying and cyberbullying as an important issue as she faces her and her peers. Some of future goals that Hannah has are to get into advanced placement classes in high school, to learn to cook, and to win league in soccer. Her upbeat and hard-working attitude should take Hannah far in all her areas of her life. Hannah's mother states Hannah is possibly the most genuine, honest, thoughtful person you will ever know. Her self-discipline, ethics, humor, and sense of self are the things I admire not only as a mother, but as a woman. She inspires me to be a better person every day. Congratulations, Hannah. So our first student of the bunch at Petaluma High is Andy Street. All throughout high school, Andy has invested an incredible amount of time and a great deal of enthusiasm and energy into his passion for theater and acting. Every year he's starred in or otherwise has had a lead role in many plays Petaluma High has put on. A few examples are Harvey, South Pacific, Noises Off, Grease, Almost Maine, Legally Blonde the Musical, and he's currently working on David and Lisa. He's taken a drama or acting elective every year and has been a committed member of the drama club
and vice president for 3 years now. Additionally, he has been involved in starring in many movies put on by the filmmaking class when they requested him. He has challenged himself by taking a plethora of AP classes. So far, he's taken AP World History, AP US History, AP Psychology, and is currently enrolled in AP Government and Economics, AP English Literature, and AP Environmental Science. When he started off high school, he was in the special education program, but after freshman year, he requested to be taken out of it so that he could pursue a broader range of courses that interest and challenge him. This is a testament to the fact that he is determined to succeed and set high ambitions for himself. He is immensely grateful for this recognition for all of his hard work and perseverance throughout his formative high school years. Good job, Andy.
You have some friends and family here tonight?
Yes, please.
Next up, we have Samantha Lovett. Samantha is a very hardworking young woman who has been in the top 10% of her class for all 4 years attending Petaluma High. This last summer, she was selected to compete for the junior national team for women's rowing and was one of the 8 girls nationally to go to Canada and race for the United States against Canada and Mexico in the Can-Am-X Regatta. Most recently, Ms. Lomas has been recruited by Yale, UCLA, and UC Berkeley for rowing. And just last week, she decided, I'm sure it was a difficult decision, to commit to Berkeley, where she hopes to study computer science and graphic arts. Good job, Sam.
Samantha's king. All right, let's finish strong with the big house.
On this one. Hi. So our first student of the month from Casa Grande is Henry Steiner.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Throughout his high school career, Henry Steiner has perfected 5 of the most crucial skills any overachieving student can exhibit. 1. Like a true nerd, Henry is able to avoid all strenuous and awkward social interactions. This includes hiding out in the calculus classroom during lunch and reusing his TI-84 calculator as a makeshift cell phone to avoid unnecessary conversation. 2. This past summer, Henry was able to acquire an internship at Sonoma State University. In his astronomy-based internship, Henry searched for friends in space, collected data, and helped to recreate an optical system in a lab part by part using a 3D printer. He also enjoyed printing platypuses, penguins, and other such animals. 3. Following his internship, Henry is aspiring to become an aerospace engineer because he believed that he had spotted some friends in space and wishes to build a rocket ship to go meet up with them. Upon arrival, he will proceed to avoid all strenuous and awkward social interactions as stated in skill number 1 and retreat to planet Earth. Number 4. In the event that Henry accidentally launches himself into space, do not fear. He has experienced zero gravity-like feelings in the swimming pool. In fact, he is awarded as one of the most valuable players on the men's varsity swim team last season, on the school swim team, competes at the state level on his club swim team, and is planning to continue swimming in college. Henry also believes that all men should wear Speedos. Lastly, Henry acquired the final and greatest accomplishment of all, the art of anti-hibernation. Functioning on 0 hours of sleep, Henry can still manage to complete all activities stated above and appear to live a normal life. Congratulations, Henry.
Congratulations.
Priscilla is like any other high-achieving student, unique. She is an inspiration to her peers because despite the incredible workload of school, she manages to sleep over 6 hours every night. This she has achieved by cutting off all forms of social communication, getting only close enough to snap photos of her contribution to the sports page in the renowned Gaucho Gazette. Her passion for following people closely and taking pictures of them, in addition to athletics, has motivated her to take a position in journalism as a sports photographer, a post she has held for 2 years. Not only does Priscilla succeed academically and keep from drowning under a sea of homework, but she also stays afloat as an accomplished swimmer. Her affinity for water has caused her to become one of the most valuable swimmers on Casa Grande's swim team and has put her in line to be the captain of the girls' varsity team this year. Having been competitively swimming for most of her life, she has developed a fierce determination, a strong mental fortitude, and 2 broad shoulders. Over the summer, Priscilla attained a position in an internship at Sonoma State University, hoping to investigate the nature of her large shoulders by working on a kinesiology project. Her research entailed using baking soda tablets in an attempt to negate the effects of lactic acid on rock climbers, as well as investigating the bilateral deficit phenomenon, a strange effect on the capability of the muscles. Although through her internship she dabbled in biology and chemistry, she has decided to pursue a career in mechanical engineering. Ultimately, she would like to design a complex machine that would limit her interaction with the outside world as a benefit to the rest of humanity. Congratulations, Priscilla.
Oh, seriously? No? No? We're going to have to vote on whether we give it to her. All right, thank you very much. So, put her back on this. Very quickly, before I call a quick break, a couple of things. Always the best part of our meetings. Always very inspiring to hear what you're all doing and where you're all going. Besides just congratulations, you should be very proud of yourself. But you should also understand that there's a whole bunch of people who have worked really hard to provide an environment to allow you to prosper this way. And I don't know that you really appreciate how good it makes those people feel to see what you're doing. So feel good about yourselves for your accomplishments, but feel really good about yourselves as well, because what you're doing creates a lot of joy for a lot of people who spend a lot of time to set you up in this situation. You did it on your own, but feel really good about the fact that you made a lot of other people, besides your parents, you made a lot of teachers, teachers' aides, bus drivers, cafeteria, janitors, school administrators really, really proud of you. So congratulations for that, all right? Second, there's all kinds of fabulous prizes that you'll get later. I can't share them with you now, but probably the most important one is that your name's going to go up on the wall of fame, and that's a big deal. So. And lastly, in this regard, those of you from the middle schools, there's not a whole lot of people that are on that wall twice, and I would strongly encourage you to strive to be one of those people that gets up there twice, okay? So, again, thank you very much for that. And we're going to take a really quick break. So, I understand that there is a PBS special on tonight, something about the Galapagos Islands. I'm sure you guys see it. Nothing else going on, so if anybody needs to take a quick break, go back to study. Pack for wherever you're going to college. Let's do that real quickly, okay? I hate to do it, folks, but we've got a meeting we've got to get through. So if you're staying, please stay. We'd love to have you. If not, let's settle in and find a seat. All kinds of room in the front.
Matt.
Hey, my car.
Yeah. So we have a presentation before public comment, but I want to take this opportunity that if anybody has public comment that they would like to make under public comment, please go ahead and fill out one of these. You'll find them in the back of the room. And you'll need to make sure that you get these filled out before we start public comment, because once we start public comment, if you don't have the form, you get to wait till the 18th of November. So please make sure that you see the back table there for a card. All right, so we're going to move on to Jane.
So this evening we have a report on our gate magnet program that is at McKinley School. We have our principal, Matthew Harris, here, and he is going to be helping with the report, as well as some parents and some students from the GATE program, and teachers from the GATE program. So before we get started with the fun part of the presentation, I just want to give you a little bit of background and statistics about where this all came from and where we are going and why isn't this working. Okay, so the history of the GATE magnet. The California GATE standards were adopted in 2005, and we were working with the GATE standards from that time. Our teachers have participated in GATE certification. Many teachers, about 50 in the elementary and some in the secondary also, have participated in GATE certification. And previous to 2012, we clustered GATE students, I'm stopping, GATE. Gifted and talented education. Okay. We clustered GATE students in classrooms and provided differentiated instruction for those students. That continues to be an option, but in 2012 we began to talk about looking at a different kind of a program and providing some options to parents so that they can make some different kinds of choices for their students depending upon need. So in 2011, in December, we proposed a GATE magnet program that opened in August of 2012 at McKinley School. That was our first year. We opened with, remember, McKinley has a QUIA grant, so the class size at fourth grade is 17 students, and we opened that year with 15 students in the program. We added fifth grade in 2013, and last year we added sixth grade, or this year we added sixth grade. I put this up here and I will share this with all of you guys after the presentation. There are GATE programming standards that are put out by the National Association of Gifted and Talented Education, the Educator Association. These are the big areas that the standards cover. And when I share this with you, you're going to be able to click on each one of these links and take a look at them if you're so interested. Okay? So presently, we have our fourth, fifth, and sixth grade program at McKinley. And we are looking this year at seventh and eighth because our first cohort that have been at the GATE magnet are moving into seventh grade next year. So I wanted to give you just a little quick overview of where the kids are at, where our GATE students are at when they are in seventh grade, and what kind of options are available to them. So the first thing that I did was I pulled all their schedules. I pulled every GATE identified seventh grade student's schedule to see where they were in their classes. So 14% of the kids, first of all, there were only 57 total GATE identified students in seventh grade. And what I noticed is that we may not, the label may not be following the kids from our feeder schools. There are very few kids from our feeder schools, so that's something that we're going to need to work with our feeder districts. 14% of those kids are in no advanced classes whatsoever. They're just in a regular program, that's fine. I mean, the kids will land in all different kinds of programs, but 14% of these kids are in no advanced classes. 35% of those 57 kids are in Algebra 1 in seventh grade. 44% of them are in Math 7 Advanced. So they're in a regular math 7 program, but it's the advanced cohort. So they're getting things a little more in-depth. The Algebra 1 kids are actually kind of a year ahead of themselves. 56% of the kids are in English 7 advanced, which means they're in a regular English 7 program, but once again, it's a little more in-depth. And 50% are in both math and English advanced. Okay? So one of the advanced math courses and the advanced English course. Okay? And that's of that cohort. What we're going to do right now is take a look at what the program looks like at McKinley. So we'll turn it over to Matt.
So we put this video together for incoming third grade students last year, at the beginning of last year, I believe. The students really drove this project with the teachers. And it's, I think it speaks volumes to the program, so I'll just start with this.
How is the GATE class different than other classrooms you have been in?
The GATE classroom is different from other classrooms because we have much more advanced topics and projects, providing much more of a challenge. We always share ideas with the class and the teachers let us explore our topics with experiments and hands-on activities.
I think the GATE class is different because there is a higher level of learning, and since everyone is at a similar level, we go through the subjects much more quickly.
My favorite part about the GATE program is that we are pushed to think deeper about what we are learning, make connections between concepts, and we get to share our knowledge with the class.
What are science and social studies like in the GATE classroom?
First of all, science and social studies are much more hands-on. Instead of reading from a textbook, the GATE class does experiments and has discussions about the topics they are studying in class.
In science, we actually get to see our science lesson come to life with all tests and experiments.
We get to learn how science works through experiments, write about what we observed, and then our teacher has us try to figure out the answer on our own.
For social studies, instead of only reading textbooks, we have simulations where we get to be actual explorers on Christopher Columbus's ship, loyalists or patriots in the Revolutionary War, or miners in the California Gold Rush.
We get to experience how hard it was manning a ship through the vast wide open sea, get frostbite during harsh climates and temperatures in the life of a patriot, be a wealthy old kook in the gold rush running around screaming, "I found gold! Yippee! I'm rich!"
What are some of your favorite projects that you have done?
There are a lot of fun projects in room 9 and 26. My personal favorite was my Egypt independence study. I enjoyed researching, connecting my GATE icons to my topic, and presenting my work to the class.
One of my favorite projects is our independent study project. As hinted in the name, it is very independent. You get to pick the topic you are most interested in, research it, and then make any type of project you want.
Some of my favorite projects so far are special book reports with creative products. For the book Island of the Blue Dolphins, we wrote an essay about how the character's perspective changed while living alone on an island. And we also created an ABC book on our iPads to show our understanding.
Right now, my class is working on a math project called the Fraction Dinner Party. I define recipes with lots of fractional amounts and adjust them to serve 24 people. Now I am faced with the task of shopping for ingredients and calculating the total cost to feed all of those people. This project helps us use math we are learning in class in a real-world situation.
One of my favorite projects I have done in the GATE class is the Vernacular project. We got to make a movie trailer for our own sequel to the book. After the simulations, we have to write a little diary entry of what happened. I, being the writer I am, love writing the entries. In the simulation, I made a birth certificate, a backstory, and a family tree.
How do we use technology in the GATE class?
The technology is phenomenal here at McKinley. We can create keynote presentations or iMovies on the iPads and then project them on the smartboard in front of the class.
We use iPads to type, practice subjects, and research for projects, which helps because we can access all our work with the press of a button.
You can also use Google Drive and share writing pieces so that your classmates can comment and edit them if they need to. You can research for a project at home and also use math and other learning apps on your iPad.
We can make iMovies of concepts we are learning, like the rock cycle in ancient Rome. A lot of the projects we do are with the technology that we have in our classrooms. I love the GATE technology. My favorite part is Google Docs. We can share writing with our teacher and classmates. Miss Crandall and Mr. Deasy can view, edit, and comment on our work.
How are you part of the McKinley community?
I feel the GATE class is a huge part of the McKinley community. McKinley is an extremely interactive school and has plentiful spirit days and groups such as book club, mural club, chess club, etc. I feel I'm not just a student at McKinley, but a part of a whole.
In GATE, we aren't separated from the community. We still get to participate in many events like the Great Latulian Challenge, the Saucer Fest, the school mural, and the garden.
We participate in contests that are held school-wide, attend assemblies, and participate in spirit days. So we aren't just in our own little world in the GATE class, we are part of the school community.
The GATE class is also part of our community because we still participate in school-wide activities. For example, we go on field trips with all the students in our grade level.
After being in the GATE classroom, how are you better at sharing what you've learned?
After being in the GATE class, I feel as though I'm better at sharing what I've learned because of our independent study projects.
I have slowly worked up to being able to share my work in front of large groups, and I do not believe that I could ever do this if I hadn't been in the GATE class, so it has really helped me.
I'm getting better at explaining my thinking and showing it. In the beginning, I didn't explain it with details, neither with vivid language. I feel that I'm getting better because my teacher pushes me to do my best and he is expecting me to get even better.
I used to be more shy about sharing my thoughts, but now in the GATE program, I can express my ideas better and my shell has opened up more than usual.
What do you love about being in the GATE class?
I could go on and on about this forever, but I think that something that is really outstanding is the whole project-based learning, where we don't often use worksheets and papers, but do big projects and cool hands-on learning activities that make learning fun.
What I love about being in the GATE class is that we get to do things in a way that shows ourselves. We get to share what we've learned through creative products and presentations.
What I love about being in the GATE class is everything. All the new experiences, the challenges, the fun teachers, being able to peek out of your shell and join in on the fun. Everything in GATE is awesome, especially the teachers who help us achieve our goals.
So that gives us a quick overview of what the kids are doing all day long in the GATE program and in grades 4, 5, 6. And we wanted to share just an idea with the board tonight and, whoops, sorry, that in looking at where the kids are going next year, in looking at where the kids might be working in 7th grade, we're proposing, and this is just a proposal, nothing in stone yet at all, because we still have lots of investigation to do, adding a 7th grade in 15-16, and then in 8th grade in 16-17, possibly making it a satellite of one of our junior highs and locating it at McKinley School. And so that we keep our school balanced, that we open one GATE designated class and then one class that is open to all students from within the district. Because that is part of the success of this program, is that it is truly part of the school. It's not a separate program, it's not a separate piece that is off by itself, but is a very integral part of the school community. And we have some people here who might want to talk about the GATE program for just a minute. So I will turn it back over to them.
So I'll say a few words about framing the program, and then I've invited a couple students, 6 of our 6th grade GATE students to come up and say a few words, a few of our GATE teachers, and then a few of our GATE parents. So 3 years ago when I started at McKinley, it was the very first class of GATE students at McKinley. And while at first kind of skeptical about a standalone GATE program, I've been just amazed by what actually happens inside those classrooms. Fabulous students and in fact incredible teachers. And I've truly seen how the students are blossoming in this program. I see the GATE program as sort of the flip side, or meeting the needs of our flip side of sort of the special education program. We're really meeting the needs of students who in the past would have been, yes, they would have been served in a general classroom, but they're sort of the students who are off in the corner reading because they don't need to know how to do double-digit multiplication because they're working on trigonometry right now. The program has been great for both our GATE students and also just for McKinley in general. We've seen a steady increase in our school population over the past few years, as well as an increase in the student diversity on the campus. One of the major obstacles that I've had with filling the classrooms and getting students to come to our school is a lot of the students, they're coming from all the different elementary schools in Petaluma, and because of the McDowell-McKinley model that we have, the K-3 and then the 4-6, it's very difficult for parents to see leaving their home school where they've been for 4 years and they know all the other parents and all the other kids to come to a program, even though it may be the best for their child's education, they're wondering about the social aspect of it. And then to come to a school for 3 years, go to another school for 2 years, go to another school for 4 years, which is why the proposal here to keep it at our school would really help with, I think would really help with the not only bringing kids over to the program, but also just the program in general, as well as McKinley. We have at the same time this confluence with the QUIA grant that Jane mentioned going away. For about the last 7 years, we've had a Quality in Education Investment Act, kept the class sizes very low at 4th grade, 5th grade, and 6th grade, which has been fantastic. Next year, the averages are going up to the same district average, and it's going to be even a harder sell, but without doing something on the campus. I think that bringing the 7th and 8th grade GATE and then also having a non-GATE classroom would really help with that integration, with the diversity at the school. It would allow us to do some things where the teachers can work together to offer, sort of like what we do with our 6th grade. You can have a math and science, you can have an English language arts and social studies, you can have the teachers really working together to offer some of those electives that they might not get at a bigger junior high school. So at this point, just to sort of tell their story, I invited a couple students. We have 2 future Student of the Month candidates that are going to be up on that board, I have no doubt. We have Cassie Wright and Isabel Quinones. They're both 6th grade GATE students, and I just asked them just to kind of come and talk a little bit about their experience, and we'll keep it pretty brief.
Well,
the GATE program has been really a great thing for me. Before I came, I was a really fast learner, which was kind of not that great of a thing in my classroom, because I understand topics far before anybody else in the class, and then I'd be bored for another week as the rest of the kids figured out what it was all about. And now that I'm in the GATE class, it just really has changed that, and I can learn at the faster pace I prefer, and I really think that adding a 7th and 8th grade would be amazing, because I'd really like to stay at the school, and B, I'd really like to stay in the GATE class. So I think that would be a really great idea.
Thank you.
Like Cassandra, not being in a GATE class is kind of like being ahead of everyone, and you're not really at the same pace, and it just kind of feels like, okay, I figured it out, let's go to the next subject, while everyone's still kind of learning what's going on. But in the GATE class, I'm at the same pace as everyone. No one's faster, no one's slower, everyone's at probably about the same pace, not exactly the same pace, but it's somewhere there. And adding a 7th and 8th grade classroom, I think would be really cool, because we could still be the role models of the school, and we also get an opportunity to still have that same pace in our classroom with everyone that we know.
Thank you. And so Isabel came to us from McDowell, Cassie came on to us from Edinburgh. So thank you very much for pushing to start. Thank you. Now, we have Laura Clemens was not feeling well, so we sent her home. But we have Matthew DZ, our 5th grade gate teacher, and Kim Jayton, who just started with us this year, as our 6th grade gate teacher, just to say a few words about the program.
Good evening, everybody. I'll be real quick, just talk from the teacher perspective. I have been teaching the upper grades for 10 years. And each year I have 1 to 3 gate students in my classroom, in a general ed classroom. And we differentiate the best we can for all our students, right? And we try, and our eye may be on our gate students, but the reality is, an ongoing conversation that I've had with colleagues over the years, is that we have a difficult time serving those students in our classroom. They end up being the students that, try as we might to give them extended projects, they end up being our helpers, or they end up doing extra reading, but it becomes more the same instead of real differentiated instruction. And I have seen over the last year in the 5th grade gate class and this year, how I am able to finally meet my gate students' needs. And it's an incredibly powerful thing. So that's what I want to share with you guys tonight.
And since I'm the new person, it's a new perspective for me. I've been teaching 20 years, and of that time, it's primarily all middle school. So I've taught 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. And for 4 of those years, I worked at a Magnet Arts program that was 4th through 8th grade. And when I heard about this, I got really excited because that was a really wonderful program that really pulled everyone together and made a community. And that's what we already have here. I've already seen parents, and it's a real community, and the kids, they care about what's going on the rest of the school. And it also benefits the rest of the campus. If we have 7th grade students coming in, I've already had a couple teachers come to me and say, hey, can I team teach with you next year? I'll do the 7th grade and you can do the 6th, and we'll team teach and we'll switch classes. So the concerns of some kids that say we won't get to have as many choices, that's not true. The teachers, we've got a fabulous staff here, and we can teach different things. We've got different specializations, and it's going to benefit the non-gate 7th grade class and the non-gate 8th grade class. So I would just like to see this wonderful thing continue, and we can really build a big community here, and hopefully we'll get a lot more identified kids in to build more and build more. So.
Thank you both.
Thank you, Mr. Museum. So 2 phenomenal educators. It's so nice to work with them along with the rest of the staff. Thank you, guys. And then at this point, just a few parents to kind of give their perspective as well. So invite Michelle Wright, Sarah Powers, and Kylie Haskins to come on up.
I'm a parent of 3 gate kids in this program, 2 4th graders and a 6th grader who happens to be sitting right there now cheering for me. I can tell you that having this program, that the district did this program, has changed my children's relationship with school. My 2 children that were in 3rd grade last year, feedback for them was that they were doing great and they needed to continue to hone their abilities to help other children, and that they needed to learn how to be more aware and more courteous to the kids who couldn't figure things out as quickly as them. And that's really, there's no academic, there was never any academic feedback for these kids. And the challenges, the teachers, I know they try and they have such big classrooms, and it's really hard to specialize the education for these kids. And I've seen them trying to give them special vocabulary words, or help them to get something that they need to engage them, but it never really works. And my kids, for the first 4 years in grammar school, really weren't engaged. And once they started 4th grade and through 6th grade, they are so engaged with school. They love school. I had a girl last year who cried every day before school. She hated it. This year she loves it, and that's the difference. Is that she cares about school. She gets to learn subjects she wants to learn, and she gets to really dive into them. So for us, I'd really like this to continue 7th and 8th grade, because I don't want this to end. I'm afraid in 7th and 8th grade that my daughters will end up, once again, being in the back of the classroom, reading a book, not paying attention, not being engaged, and not learning, and they will lose that love of education that we've been developing. So I really hope that this can happen.
I have kind of the same reiteration going on here. I have 1 daughter, my oldest is in the class, my 2 others are at Pengrove right now, and I saw her not only, I've been thoroughly amazed with what I'm seeing at the GATE class. Not only is she challenged academically and excited about it, but she has gone from that kid who was in the back of the classroom with a book, a different novel every day, reading, and the teacher didn't notice half the time, to the kid who's 100% engaged in class and on campus, and that extends to her outside life as well and all her extracurriculars. And she's at home sick today and was very upset to have to miss school, and that is phenomenal to see in an 11-year-old girl.
My name is Kylie Haskins, and my son Nathan is in the 6th grade as well, and we've been here since the pilot year. They have done such a good job summing up the academic. I'll kind of bring in the social aspect because it really is an issue for our kids. And you know, a lot of us moms get together and we finally found somebody that understands what we've been doing parenting these kids, you know, for the last 10 years, because you know, people come to us and say, oh my gosh, you're so lucky to have such a smart kid. And we go through just as many struggles as somebody on the complete opposite end of the spectrum. I mean, my son before this class would come home and he'd have anxiety because he couldn't relate to any of the other kids because, to be honest, they just didn't talk on his level. When he was in kindergarten, we came from Indiana, we relocated out to California about 3 years ago. We came from a state that had a very solid, gifted and talented program. In kindergarten, he was transported to a 1st grade math class. In 1st grade, he was in a 2nd grade math class and then was doing so well, he got transported to a 3rd grade math class. In 2nd grade, he was in a 4th grade math class. We moved back here to California. We moved here to California and he got put in the 2nd grade math class and back to doing what he was doing in kindergarten. And it just has been a struggle for us. But socially, this program has just blown my mind. I mean, he has gone from this kid that has been very inward, very scared of social interactions, the kid that, you know, when he was in 2nd, 3rd grade, we had to be the first one into class because he did not want to come into a crowded room with kids because he got anxiety about it, he didn't know what to say to them. And this smaller cohort that he's been in since 4th grade has just broken him out of his shell. Academically, amazing, but socially, just as amazing. And I do not want this to end. This is not something, I mean, junior high is not even on our radar. I'm like, if this does not continue, we're gonna have to find something else because throwing him into a social interaction of 1,000+ kids shifting through classrooms is just not something that I don't think he can handle, as well as a lot of the other kids in class. This is a program, I mean, I've said this all along, these kids should have IEPs because they deserve just as much special treatment as the kids on the complete other end of the spectrum. So we are really crossing our fingers and hoping and, you know, doing all that we can do to make sure that the program continues at McKinley because we love it. We absolutely love it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. So selfishly, I just want to keep these students and parents at my school. But I really could have picked any one of the 50 or 60 parents at McKinley. We had a potluck, a GATE potluck over at Terra Firma several weeks ago, and I just sort of brought up with the parents there. I think one of the parents said, Mr. Harris, would you just kind of get up and speak about the program and the future of the program? Oh, sure, yeah, okay, I'll say something. And so I just sort of threw out some different possibilities, and when I talked about, you know, the status quo is just the students will go up to a junior high school and they'll kind of blend right in with everyone else. We talked about maybe starting something at one of the junior, I was just giving ideas, nothing set in stone. Said maybe you could go to one of the junior highs, kind of work with Petaluma Junior, a GATE program over at one of those campuses. And then I said, you know, the other option, with especially knowing that QIA is going away and we're going to have at least four to five open classrooms on our campus, you know, it'd be a great, McKinley, we would love to continue the program at McKinley, depending on what the board wants to do. Standing ovation. I mean, the parents, 100% of the parents were, yes, that's exactly what we want to do. So I'll just leave you with that, and thank you for taking into consideration the proposal.
Thank you.
So what will happen now is we're in discussions, lots of discussions with teachers, principals, and looking at all different kinds of options. And so we will bring a proposal or a recommendation back to the board, probably at your next board meeting. If we get all of the input gathered by that time. If not, it will be the board meeting after that. and we'll see what happens.
Very good.
Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. We're going to move on to public comment. I'm going with last, best, and final offer for yellow cards. Last, best, and final. I see nobody raising their hand. I'm going to go ahead and start. Let's go with Ann Reed. I'm sorry. I've got 3 cards here, so 5.
Okay.
Thanks.
So thanks for the chance to have the public to speak. I want to thank the board for all that you do. I'm here to discuss the recent developments between the school board and the teachers. I think it came to a crescendo for me when I saw the cartoon in last Thursday's Argus Courier. If you haven't seen it, the cartoon is a picture of the school board on one side with no one in the stands behind them, and the teachers union on the other side of the table with the stands packed. I'm a huge supporter of teachers. Both my kids went through the Petaluma District Public School System and they attended Grant School. I admire every single teacher that my kids had and the teachers that my kids didn't have. Every one of them are folks that I would have at my table. After Grant School, they went to Petaluma Junior High, and now they're both at the high school at Petaluma. My brother's a teacher, and his wife, my dear sister-in-law, is a teacher. We all owe a great debt to our teachers. I also have a tremendous amount of respect for this board. I have brought a couple of matters before this board: the hiring of an athletic trainer to help prevent and diagnose concussions, and getting more books in a Spanish classroom at the junior high school. It is my experience that you guys are professionals and you take your jobs very seriously. I realize it's difficult to be a group that has to do the balancing act that you all are charged with. I think it's important to put things into perspective. This isn't the 80s when we enjoyed a very different financial climate. We've gone through an extremely difficult financial downturn, and we're not through it yet. So when I brought my concerns both to this board and to the superintendent Ballman directly, I was met each time with an interested and invested and genuine concern for the Petaluma students. Each of you are ladies and gentlemen of this community. You're volunteering your time to serve here. Several of you have children that are part of the school district, but we realize that your work doesn't start and stop when you show up to these meetings. We realize that the time that you put in starts with the materials that are brought to your homes that you have to study and you work on prior to ever showing up here. Both of the issues that I had addressed here were met with, those are great ideas. Now go find some cost-neutral solutions. So there's where my work started. I didn't put it on you folks. What I understood was that while you were in a decision-making position, you can't just pull money out of the air. If you could just print dollars, you'd be the United States government, and my guess is that is not going to end well. Regarding Mr. Bowman, I moved to Petaluma in 1986, and so I've seen a couple of superintendents since that time. I have seen no one do a better job than Steve. These have been the most challenging financial times that most of us have ever lived through, and yet due to Mr. Bowman's stewardship, this district does not suffer through layoffs the way some of our neighboring districts do. Thanks, Steve, for your financial savvy. Regarding the teachers, my brother, who is my favorite teacher, says the problem is the politicians that are making the decisions regarding pay rates, and they have no skin in the game. He wants the bureaucrats to involve teachers in the decision-making process, and I think he's right. There's definitely villains here, but it's not the school board. The Board of Education can't dole out what is not there. The real problems are at the state level and maybe with the union, I don't know. I think it would be better use of all of our time to push the state to do the right thing. That's where the union should focus their attention. Sometimes it's necessary to take a step back, take a deep breath, and put things into perspective. I believe this is one of those times. If I had my wish, I would hope that we could all work together collaboratively. not set up sides like it's us and them, to the point of political satires in our local papers. I believe we're smarter than that, better than that, and we want to be positive examples to our children. Anyway, I may look like just one person standing here, but my friends and I know that you folks are working diligently and doing the best you can with what you have. And I just wanted to come up to offer you my gratitude. Thank you.
Brent. Newell. Mr. Newell. Other.
Good evening. It's very nice to go after that last speaker. He was thanking you for your service. And again, my name is Brent Newell. I have 2 children in the district. And I want to echo her comments and thank you for your service. I want to thank Member Chabowski for asking to meet with me and setting some time aside in your schedule to meet and chat and offer some perspective from the board's point of view, which I very much appreciated. Thank you. And the chair also, thank you for reaching out to me and making yourself available to meet. And I'm sorry that I wasn't able to free up my schedule anymore.
We'll figure it out.
All right. I've been coming to these meetings, I guess it's my 4th time, and because I really want to see 2 things. I think the teachers deserve a raise, and I think we all agree on that point. They made sacrifices during that economic downturn that the last speaker talked about. And we need to attract the best young teachers. You know, that low bottom end of the pay scale is pretty tough when you're coming out of school. And we want to have the best teachers coming in so that in junior high or 2, 3, 4 years down the road, we're able to replace the retiring teachers with really qualified, well-paid teachers. To that end, I asked for some items to be on the agenda, and I'm sorry that they're not on the agenda because I think they'd be good things to talk about in a good, transparent way as we all work together on this difficult situation, as the last speaker discussed. One thing that Sherry and I talked about that I expressed to her was that some leadership on both sides can really help this situation come to a fruitful conclusion. I think there's some leadership on the union side. I think they really want to get a deal done. They've made a generous offer on the COLA, I guess a 4% increase, that's pretty modest, and there isn't a big difference between the district and the teachers, 2.5% to 4%. That's not a big difference. You guys should be able to get a deal done. So, Mr. Bowman, I think I owe you an apology. A couple of meetings ago, I referred to you as just an accountant. And I don't think that's fair. I think you offer more to this district than that. And I think you can step up and show that leadership now and help this situation come to a positive conclusion because, the teachers need to be rewarded for their sacrifices. Like the last speaker said, you did a lot of financial whiz kid stuff to help the district get through that tough time, but the teachers also made sacrifices. So you all worked together then to help the district, and you guys can work together now. So, on a real positive note, I want to encourage you to get this thing done so the Argus Courier stops these cartoons. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Sandra?
I just want to address negotiations openly. You guys had a closed session last week. Within 15 minutes, we had an email from Steve saying that the district is having difficulty understanding our insistence on the servers at the table. So if that really was the first line, that showed you haven't listened to us at all. How are we going to work this out when really we've been to how many meetings? How many ways can we say it? It just felt like that being the first line, this wasn't a letter that wanted to work things out. This was a letter saying, we don't understand why you've come all this time. Clearly everything else we've said doesn't matter. You haven't heard us. So we responded saying, because there is no trust right now, and that we'd all agree that trust needs to be rebuilt, that we weren't willing to meet as a negotiating team, to meet about meeting. And to say that we weren't looking for it to be precedent setting, there's lawyers up here, that doesn't mean it won't be. So we offered to meet in a smaller group to work out some ground rules, some protocols, to maybe bring us together. And our response from Steve was, let me get it here, basically said he didn't want to change the terms of negotiations during negotiations, but refusing to have observers changes the terms, so you can't have it both ways. We've always had observers, we've had that right. And to now stop it in midterm, that's changing the terms of negotiation. So if you're willing to do it one time, you got to be consistent. Either we're changing terms of negotiations or we're not. We're frustrated because of the lack of trust and because we can't, I don't see the problem in meeting in a small group and coming up with consensus. This is what we can work on. The other thing I just wanted to say is you need to understand perception. And when teachers get an email saying they're going to go on a bus ride to Oakland and don't worry, you get lunch and we're going to do that and that, and oh, this summer we can pay you, it's a slap in all our faces. This board says you're looking for money for us, but you just look like you're trying to spend it faster than we can understand. So if you're really trying to find money, let's get creative. It's like we said, it's $450,000, that's it. So let's get creative. I understand LCAP, I understand things have to be paid one way, but you can get creative and pay for some things with that money. We can be conservative and find money for the teachers and for the employees, the classified as well. So I'm just asking you to realize perception to us and to agree, if you want to start building trust, let's start with a small group and build it. And let's come up with some ground rules and protocols that legally are binding. Not looking for something to be something isn't legally binding, we all know that. I showed it to one person, they went, that's, just because you're not looking for it doesn't mean it's not going to happen. So hopefully you guys can come back and understand that you've heard us, understand that because of the lack of trust, because of past things that have happened in negotiations, we've always had the right to open it to our members. And quite frankly, Steve, if we negotiate and we, in good faith, our members aren't going to come, they're tired. They don't want to come. No one's going to bust themselves to get there. That cartoon was ridiculous. Somebody's fed them some information that's not correct. But if we have trust and we deal with each other in good faith and really look for solutions, do you think people are going to bust down the door to get in? It's ridiculous. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
All right, I have 2 more cards. We have a scheduled closed session for a different item, but we're going to get through these 2 so I can make sure that people who need to get home can get home. So let's go to Mr. Emery. You, Mr. Emery? Oh, thank you. All right. So, I think 3 times now you and I have had a problem with 5 minutes. If you have 5 minutes, I would prefer to not gavel you off again. You called me rude. I don't like to be called rude, and I don't like to have to go through the rules again. So if you could keep 5 minutes.
I'll do my best. Thank you for leaving your gavel. I'm here, actually this does relate to negotiations, but I was so glad to see the students again that were so involved in performing arts and the arts. You know, those students that were receiving those honors tonight, you know, the art was there. It was very present. Even the 3D printing, the sense of design and the wonder there. You know, my worry about the negotiations piece, money has not been, it's never been really my concern. The money's been there the whole time. It's the value. And this value extends to the entire K-12. And that's my worry, is that the value is off. And one of these places that it's off is we're seeing junior high and high school being immersed in art classes. But those, even in the junior high, are starting to be asked to be changed. But in the elementary, it's come off the report card. There's no visual arts. There's no art. Now, I'm not a big one to put a grade to art. I got a C in the first grade in art. I'm an artist. So is my wife, my family, my brother, my sister-in-law. I know many good artists. But, you know, if we don't value it, other things come off too. They start leaving this report card and an avenue of communication for parents. You led the public in a campaign to get Measure D, C and D on there for visual performing arts. I think that's misleading now, to start moving art off the report card in elementary schools. It's a requirement in the high schools. So, and when I question it, you know, I'm bringing it before you, but I already questioned it through the proper channels. So I went to the people that were doing the report card. Good Lord. And they responded, one of your site managers responded that we don't have room on the report card for things like that and washing hands. And they likened it to washing hands. And I take a professional and a personal affront to that. And you should know about this. Now, if that person wants to do that to their own site people, which is being done, and call them at home and tell them not to do this and to do this, that's one thing, and that's atrocious, and you should know about that. But once they respond to me in a professional email that says art is likened to washing hands, and we don't have room for it on a report card, that's atrocious and it's unprofessional. And something should be done about it. I'm asking you, I don't know who makes the decisions and standards here once it leaves these committees, but I'll tell you what, things happen in committees and the next thing you know, it's changed. And this is one of those changes that takes place. And we put our comments down there to put it back on, and you know, in the expediency of not having time to upload it onto this new area system, what do you know, it didn't get done. And there's plenty extra space on the report card. You know, I think this district needs to honor, I think this board, their duty to the public in general and the students of elementary, K all the way through, need to honor art. And by putting it back on the report card, visual and performing arts, so that these kids, when they get to the junior high, they are given that opportunity and they're well versed in it. Making film, designing, all those things. You get your little pads and you're looking at your clock. You know, all those little things took artists to design. Those icons that you're looking at right now, Troy, those were all designers that had a feast in art when they were young. Some of them only could do art. They just drew and drew. Now the irony is that you used a political cartoonist who's a friend of yours to get a cartoon that was inaccurate in the newspaper, and that you're using art, and I really also resent a politician body, a political body, using good volunteer parents for their own design. And I really don't like that. And I think that is, you know, it's one thing to have them giving enrichment classes, but, you know, when they're given misinformation to put these things out, that's just not kosher. It's not a good thing. And so I just, those two together, I don't get it. It doesn't add up. But the value, it's a state law, it's in our curriculum, it needs to go back there. I hope that you can get art back on the elementary report card, along with taking care of our kindergarten teachers and students who are still in a bind.
Thank you.
It's amazing. If I had 15 students in my class, what I could do.
Thank you. Wow. Jenny, please.
Yeah, I'll tell you.
I'll be super quick. Hi, everybody. I just wanted to thank, well, I'd love to thank Anne Reed for what she said. I really respect what she said. And I guess my words are similar to hers. This is a letter that I actually wrote a couple weeks ago because I was just feeling a lot of frustration about the conflict that's been going on between teachers and the school board and the administration. And as a parent of kids in the school district, I just, we're just parents. I feel like sort of an innocent bystander to a car crash. I'm just watching a car crash. So this is kind of what I wrote, so I'm just going to read it. Just writing to express my frustration with the current conflict with PFT that's going on in our community right now. I followed the situation, understand some of the issues, most notably that teachers had conceded pay raises, class size, and teaching days during the economic downturn, and would like to have their salaries reinstated. I believe teachers do deserve a raise. I agree with Ann that I've been so impressed with most of the teachers that my children have had in the Petaluma School District. And while I appreciate the sacrifices they've made for our children, I also know that there's many other citizens of our town, of our county, of our state, of our country that have suffered similar cutbacks. I have a lot of friends whose husbands and they themselves have not received raises. Our benefits have become more expensive for us. So I think there's a lot of people who've also had to compromise a lot in their life and who are also waiting to be made whole again. And I think teachers would do well to look at that big picture and realize that they're not the only contingent still suffering from those difficult times. I think we're lucky to have school board members who are questioning the district on behalf of the teachers, but who also believe that they need to make decisions that are responsible to all parties involved, including students, parents, and taxpayers, not just teachers. There's a lot of people that are still paying taxes that don't have kids in the school district anymore, and I think that's also a responsibility. But what has saddened and frustrated me the most about the situation is the rift that I feel has been created between opposing sides, particularly in this close-knit community of neighbors. I mean, I think of Petaluma as a community of neighbors where teachers and parents live side by side. This was made abundantly clear to me at the last school board meeting, which was the 14th. At the board meeting, I witnessed a lot of insulting comments from PFT members to school board members, and a lot of what I like to call, I've been seeing this a lot, what I call gotcha politics, where an opponent looks for any infraction as proof of the other's incompetence, malice, thoughtlessness, or general ill will. I was pretty appalled to watch the people who teach our children with such kindness and patience during the day stand up at night and say bitter words to parents who are volunteering their time to provide a community service. I know politics isn't nice, and I know that unions just want what's best for their members, but I guess I thought as a community we were more civil than this, and that Petaluma, with its small town feel and supportive history, I mean, I think about Danny Cox and the Little League, helping those Little League families get to the World Series if they couldn't afford it. We stand by each other, we work with each other, and I really felt like we could be exempt from the kind of nastiness that I've been seeing. So I just wanted to make my thoughts known. So thank you.